Also, friends, this video took longer than expected to make because when I sped it up initially, it made me nauseous. I was like, oh no, I cannot do that to other people. So I had to go back and figure out how to edit this video so it wouldn't do that. In no way is this the smoothest speed build ever. It's still a little janky, but believe me, it was way worse. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Vina, aka VinaLaMoca, and we're about to embark on a building adventure. I tend to avoid building in The Sims, and for that, trust the process. A lot of this is cringe, but I swear it works out. Trust me when I say my building in the OG Sims was the worst. My top floors never had walls and none of my builds had roofs. In The Sims 2, the auto roof was my saving grace. Since then, I've been a gallery girly, but for the sake of this challenge, I did my best to build a family home. I did cheat their fence a bit, oopsie. I might have to make an amendment to the rules for this challenge or keep as is because now it's on them to be able to afford this beautiful home I graciously gave them. You're welcome, John Roboto. Evil perhaps, but don't we all like an underdog? The underdog or underdogs being the Roboto family? To me, it just thickens the plot to give good fortune to John. Because that good fortune can turn sour with who knows what will happen next. Maybe a visit from the Repo Man. I've also decided that the heir keeps the house. I like it a bit too much to just give it up. This took me 5 hours to build, and I put too much effort into it to give it up to some random townie. I know other people spend way longer on their houses, and oh my goodness, this was not easy at all. Maybe we'll even try to add a basement later on because of the basement kit, but who knows. Anyways, the reason why I'm a gallery girly is because of roofing. I struggled, y'all. I took my sweet time on the roof to make sure it was decent. Because I knew if I screwed up, Nancy Landgrab, our neighbor, would have a BF and get the Sims HOA to fine us or kick us out of the neighborhood. The house didn't have to be fancy, just modest, because the founder, John Roboto, is coming from a very humble beginning. Remember the people! Shh. However, in order to keep his property, he must keep up with the land grabs or face the wrath of Nancy. And I don't want any Nancy shrimp saying she wouldn't be vindictive because, you know, that's a bold-faced lie. We all know that Jeffrey is in a bad marriage and he wants the land grab name because it comes with power and money. And he's fine with that. And reason why Nancy runs his life. And if you don't believe me, just look at how she disowned her own son, Johnny Zest. And don't tell me it was a joint parental decision because, again, Nancy is the matriarch. She rules the family with an iron fist. So the theme of this build is to keep up with the land grabs without going too broke. Because, oh my goodness, it's so easy to go broke in this game. We'll see if we succeed in the next episode because bills always need to be paid. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I thought the Repo Man didn't exist. But when I was playing with a mermaid on my Twitch channel, he came, the Repo Man came. I don't know why I thought they didn't exist anymore, but the Repo people do. And I'm afraid also to see how much we owe in bills after this build. Because I kind of went overboard. I have a problem that I am a maximalist, not a minimalist, and I tend to go overboard on things that I like and things I think are pretty and that would fit with this family in the build. The kitchen was my favorite room to build, and I took a lot of inspo from my own kitchen. I kept on looking at the tile in the kitchen and then the wood floors in the other room because it needs to have a nice flow of transition from the kitchen to the dining room, especially in a more open concept. And I found this like little It looks like little dividers for the floor. Like, you know how if you look at actual floors where it goes from one median to another, like from wood to tile, there's usually that one thing that helps like the transition. I don't know what it's called, but I found something from Get to Work that does the same thing, and it's a very still functional. And for some reason, the little floor divider, I'm just going to call it the floor divider, is found with the fencing tool. And look at me, I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to building and decorating, when I just mainly do family gameplay. One thing that's just unrealistic besides getting money out of thin air is how wide and big and spacious this house is. My house is a decent size in real life, but it's not this big, and I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jelly. Like, come on, give me a nice house like that. Kidding, it wouldn't be practical where I am because it gets too cold too fast. But for real, I wish I had a trash can that would give me money every time I threw things away. Come to think about it, I put the TV in a really awkward place, but it does work. Well, at least it works in my opinion, which, again, I'm not a builder. I don't finish things that often, but I don't know. Sometimes things have to get a little awkward in The Sims to make them work. The office was a challenge on its own, not because I didn't know what to put in, but because I wanted to put the best of the best items in there, especially when it came to the computer, because I was like, oh, maybe the daughter might get into streaming if we ever get rid of the child of the ocean trait. But no, what is the possibility of that happening? I don't know, because I don't want to completely dictate my Sims' lives. I want them to have a little bit of autonomy as much as I can without them ruining the challenge, but I digress. It also doesn't help that I'm indecisive, so I had to try a bunch of different desks and everything, make sure it would look nice and would flow with the overall theme, which in this case is kind of like chaotic clutter, while trying to outdo Nancy Landgrab. Which isn't hard because she's had the same stuff since The Sims came out in 2014. There's been no refresh with the land grabs or their property. So, sorry Nancy, but you're kind of looking a little retro right now. I swear this video wasn't meant to be the bash the Nancy Landgrab video. But she is a villain. And our neighbor. I just noticed I make all my houses look like they have little faces with the windows and the doors. So there's something about houses I have to personify. I think that subconsciously comes from houses being homey, in my opinion. So it has to work in some way. I don't know. I just noticed that I'm trying to come up with a logical reason why I might do it without realizing I'm doing it until I look back on footage. I'll say that the bathrooms in this house are basically clones of each other. The downstairs one is a little bit more fancy with the mirror. The toilets and showers are basically all the same in the bathrooms because that's kind of relevant of real life, because how many bathrooms have a really expensive toilet in one, then a really crappy toilet in the other? Like, not many, maybe a few do, but relatively, I feel like each bathroom in most houses have the same type of toilet and same type of sink, just a little bit differences. Like a bathroom may have a shelf, they might have a towel rack, etc. The clutter is a little different because not everything is 100% the same. Because my house, we have the same shower in my bathroom and in the other bathroom too. So again, but this is how my brain's working. In other houses I lived in, they were very similar, if not the same. Because my house I grew up when I was in Florida, I had a walk-in shower. My grandparents had a walk-in shower too, but then it was actually they all had walk-in showers. It's just a different degree of walk-in, how it would look, because it had different wall structures in different areas of the house. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, I do apologize. That's just how my brain works, because when I wrote it down, it looked like it made sense, and it sounded like it made sense when I said it out loud. There's something about having a plant in a bathroom that's very calming. I don't know, I just love plants. I wish I could have more plants. I have 3 cats, so I have to be very careful with what I have in my house, because a few of my cats will eat plastic if I don't watch them careful enough. If I don't throw something that's plastic away, like a little bag. I don't know. They are worse than children at times. They just want to do everything they want. They think they own the house, but I love them. But if I had a plan, it'd be in a bathroom that they're not allowed in, because my cats have the tendency to lock themselves in bathrooms and closets. And no, it's like I have to watch them like a hawk. Next build I do, I have to try and not use those tiny lights on the ceilings, because they are everywhere and they look horrible. I know they're gonna go away, but it still irks me. But you have to see what you're doing. Goodness, the shelf. It took me a long time to pick out a shelf, because it's like, I know it's not a life or death situation, but it's an aesthetic situation. You want things to look nice. And again, goodness, the rugs in the bathroom and everything else. When it came to decorating this house, I had the most fun doing the bedrooms, especially the kids' bedrooms. Because when I was a kid, I was not allowed to decorate my bedroom. My first bedroom, when I lived in Michigan, because that's where I was born and raised until I was like 12. My first bedroom, it was very small, like almost a closet size. The walls were yellow, plain carpet. Couldn't do anything about it. I had that room when I was like a baby until I was like 3. And when I got older, I got the guest bedroom, which it had white walls. It had sailboat wallpaper, but only at the trim at the top. I couldn't do anything with that. My comforter had to be red or maroon. I really had no creative freedom when I was a kid, at least not in my own personal space. So I created my own personal space digitally with playing The Sims and Sims 2. Growing up, even Sims 3 a little bit. I wasn't big into The Sims 3, but then again, I had a lot going on in my life during that time, so games took a back burner. But oh my goodness, I'm making it up for it now because I can. And you gotta do what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, you get your responsibilities taken care of. Do what makes you happy. I had a hard time coming up with a color scheme for John and Dina. I just went with what felt right and was kind of simple, but stood out at the same time, because Dina does not seem the kind of sim who wants something just basic. The daughter, all pink. I had to do it, especially with that rug from the Pastel Pop Kit. I love it. I adore it. I want it in everything I build. The baby's room was so much fun to do because you have the new little crib, the change table. Even though, like, changing tables, do people even use them anymore in real life in their house, or do they just change the kids in the floor with a little mat because it's easier? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going off my own experience, but you know. We all have different experiences, but the whole little play jungle gym, so adorable. And I kind of went overboard with the wall decorations. But it's kind of hard not to, because it's a little kid's room. You want it bright and happy. I know a lot of people have like very beige baby rooms, and I've heard someone say it's a sad beige baby room, which I can't help but laugh. But I do like a little bit of beige because you can't go wrong with neutrals, especially with children. But then again, I have the whole daughter's room pink and manipulating that roof again because, oh my goodness, it's just gonna drive me insane. But I think I got the roof to my liking. It's not perfect, and I'm not an expert builder. I wish I was, because then this would be so much easier. But it still came out good in my opinion. I still like how this all looks. And I haven't really play tested yet. We're gonna do that on the camera. So if something's wrong, y'all are gonna know. Y'all are gonna know something's wrong. Because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Because I'll be like, oh no, then immediate fix. Because that's how you have to do it. You have to roll with it. You have to go with the flow. Oh goodness. The landscaping, I really love it. I'm not gonna say I had a hard time. I had a hard time making it look natural and not like too artificial. But my goodness, I have never lived in the desert. I visited my aunt when she lived in Arizona a few times, but that was when I was a kid, and she had like a normal house and she had a cabin that was like further away from like everything else. And I just remember a lot of gravel. I remember that. I don't remember that much anything else. I think it's blatantly obvious that I'm indecisive when it comes to what I choose to put in my house, especially when it comes to wallpaper or the furnishings because it has to look good. I don't want my Sims to live in an ugly house. Who does? Unless it's pivotal to the storyline, they are going to get nice things, even if it's cheap nice things, because they deserve it. Because you don't need a lot of simoleons to have the finer things in life. At least that's what I believe. That's a good mindset for real life or in the Sims, because these little Sims, they don't know what they're missing out, but we do. But anyways, goodness, the lights in this daughter's room, I love it. The canopy, everything, the bear, I know I keep coming back to it, but I do love it. Oh my goodness, these hallway, I think I got it down looking good as a central hub to all the connecting rooms, because that's what it is. It has to look good. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just like a little rug here and there, some nice lights, some nice artwork. What else do you really want in your hallway? I really hate how much I was treating the camera when I was building. That's something I have to be more conscious of next time, because I didn't realize how much I was whipping the camera around. That is probably the reason why this video took so long to edit, because I was trying to make it as minimal as possible, especially when I was speeding everything up, because like I said earlier, it made me sick physically to watch it, and I couldn't do that to any of y'all because that would just be very irresponsible. But I digress. Oh my goodness, I know I say that a lot in this video, but it is the truth. If you can't criticize yourself, then I don't know, you have to self-analyze your own weaknesses. That's how you get better. At least that's what I believe, because I truly do believe you are worth the time it takes to learn a new skill. I know that's what Mercury Stardust says all the time on her TikTok, and that life advice has been my mantra for this whole speed build. It's been my whole mantra since I heard it. I don't know when I came across her TikTok page, but I just adore her willingness to teach others of how to do simple repairs and her positive attitude. And again, that motto of hers has been stuck with me since, and it is true. You are worth the time it takes to learn a new skill, no matter how hard it is, especially nowadays. You got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got Skillshare. There's a lot of people willing to share their advice and how they do things online, which is so amazing, because I could not imagine this 10 years ago. I wish this was more readily available years ago, because I remember having to watch an hour-long YouTube video back in the day just to learn how to do something that takes 5 minutes, which was insane. I know I'm probably exaggerating, but that's how it felt. Doing this whole speed build was a different editing style than what I was used to, because you have to speed everything up and you have to be very conscious about the camera, and I didn't realize I had to be very conscious about the in-game camera when I was building. I was like, oh, it can be fixed in editing, and that made it. I'll say this was a fun experience. I learned a few new tips and tricks on what to do next time I do a speed build, and hopefully it's not as crazy and janky. But again, I do apologize. I did the best I could without having to go back and destroying everything, because I do really like this house and I can't wait to see how it actually works within the storyline, because again, I can't wait to get back into playing with this family, because I love them all. Thank y'all for sticking around. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye. I can't wait to see what the Roboto family will do in this house or what will happen.